My ex is coming to live with us for a while, she said, setting her coffee cup down like she hadn't just set fire to the room. For a moment, I thought I'd misheard her. Come again. Lila met my eyes with an expression that was far too calm. Jason. My ex. He's having a rough time. Lost his job, broke up with his girlfriend, and has nowhere to stay. I told him he could crash here until he figures things out. The air in my chest thickened. You what? He's got no one else, Nate, she said, as if reason could dilute the insanity of what she'd just proposed. It's just temporary. You know me. I couldn't turn my back on someone who's struggling. When? Not her ex-boyfriend. Not the man she used to love. When? I tried to laugh it off, but it came out sounding strangled. So let me get this straight. Your ex, the guy you were with for 3 years, the guy who cheated on you, is going to move into our house. He didn't cheat, she said too quickly, her eyes dropping to her coffee. That's what people thought, but it was complicated. That word, complicated, made something deep in my gut twist. Lila, I said slowly, trying to stay composed. You're asking me to live under the same roof as the man you almost married. Her tone softened, pleading. I'm not asking you to like it. I'm asking you to trust me. I wanted to trust her. God, I did. I loved her. I loved her the way you love air, without thinking, without choice. But that night, when she climbed into bed beside me, her back turned toward me, I couldn't shake the feeling that something invisible had cracked between us. When Jason arrived 2 days later, the tension in the air was so thick it could have been carved with a knife. He stepped out of his beat-up car wearing a grin that didn't belong to a man who'd lost everything. Hey man, he said, holding out his hand. Thanks for letting me crash here. I shook it, forcing a smile. Sure. Make yourself at home. He did. Within hours, his things were scattered across the guest room. His cologne, sharp and musky, bled into the hallway. By evening, he was sitting on our couch like he'd lived there for years, laughing with Lila over some inside joke that I couldn't quite follow. She laughed harder than I'd seen her laugh in months. That night I couldn't sleep. Their laughter echoed in my mind long after it stopped. When I finally drifted off, I dreamed of whispers through walls and shadows moving where they shouldn't. Over the next week, Jason and I danced around each other like predators circling the same kill. He was polite enough, helpful even. Cooked dinner once. Offered to fix the leaky faucet. Always said the right thing. But there was a smug ease in his eyes whenever Lila was near. And she began to change. Her makeup lingered longer. Her laughter came easier. She started dressing up more often, even on days we weren't going out. When I asked her about it, she said, I'm just trying to feel good about myself again. But I noticed the way Jason looked at her when she walked into a room. And worse, I noticed that she didn't seem to mind. One evening I came home early from work. The sun was setting, pouring gold through the kitchen windows. From the driveway, I saw them through the glass. Lila standing by the counter, Jason leaning in close, whispering something that made her blush. She didn't pull away. I stood there for a full minute before unlocking the door. They jumped when they heard it open like kids caught doing something forbidden. Hey, I said, forcing a smile. What's going on? Lila brushed her hair back, her voice an octave too high. Nothing. We were just talking about dinner plans. Jason grinned. Yeah man. I was suggesting we all go out sometime. My treat. I nodded slowly. Sounds great. But that night I didn't eat. I sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the faint murmur of their voices downstairs. Every instinct told me to confront them, to demand the truth. But I couldn't. I wanted to believe there was still something pure in her intentions. The following weekend, Lila said she was going to her mother's for the night. She's been feeling lonely, she said, not meeting my eyes. Jason stayed home. When I came back from work that evening, I saw her car parked 2 streets over. My heart dropped. I parked quietly, walked up, and saw through the thin curtains, her silhouette. Jason's. Too close. For a moment the world blurred. Sound drained away. It was like my mind refused to let me process what my eyes already knew. I didn't confront them that night. Couldn't. I just sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, watching the house until the lights went out. When she came home the next morning, she looked radiant. Hair tousled, cheeks flushed, wearing the same clothes from the day before. I asked, "How's your mom?" She hesitated. "Just a flicker, but enough." "She's better." He nodded. "Good." That night I didn't sleep. I went through her phone. Her texts were gone, deleted. Every thread with Jason had been wiped clean. But one photo remained, buried deep in her gallery. A mirror selfie. His arm around her waist. Her smile soft, guilty. When I confronted her, she tried to hold my gaze. "Tell me it's not what it looks like," I said, voice low, trembling. She swallowed hard. "I didn't mean for it to happen." I laughed bitterly. "That's the line, isn't it? You never mean for it to happen." Tears filled her eyes. He needed me. He was broken. I was just trying to help, and then what? Snap. You fell back into his bed. Her silence answered everything. I felt my chest cave in. The woman I was going to marry, the future I'd built in my head, it all disintegrated in that moment. Jason packed up that night. I didn't say a word to him. Just stood in the doorway as he left. His expression half apologetic, half satisfied. Lila tried to talk to me after he was gone, to explain, to justify, to beg. But all I heard was the echo of that first morning. "My ex is coming to live with us." I'd thought I was strong enough to let her help someone she used to love. Thought trust meant giving space. But trust isn't infinite. It bleeds out quietly, one lie at a time. Weeks later, after she moved out, I found her engagement ring still sitting in its box. Untouched. Like the promise it represented had never really fit her in the first place. Sometimes I still hear her voice in the back of my mind. Soft, pleading, saying she never meant to hurt me. And I believe her. But the truth is, betrayal doesn't always come from hate. Sometimes it comes from love that never really died, and a heart too weak to let go.